All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And welcome to Trust the Process podcast, brought to you and sponsored by RFG, the revolution to free generations. Free your mind, free your finances.
Yes,
This
sir.
podcast, this podcast is hosted by Brian Riddell and Nathan Jack. Let's get to it. Good
Let's go,
morning, bro.
baby. What's going on, buddy?
Not a whole lot, man. How are you?
Hey, living the dream as always.
Are you dreaming about living?
That's the question, buddy. That's the question.
Oh, did you make your bed today?
Every day, buddy. Every day.
Good. Good. Oh man, I did not sleep well last night. All right, well let's get to it. So,
Yes, sir.
why and what? Go ahead.
Yes. Why and what is the question? So, what we mean by that is why, what hurts you, okay? And what heightens you. Basically, what hurts you the most.
Whoa,
And
hold on, Mister. Your microphone was doing some weird stuff for a second.
it's good
Sorry,
now.
keep going.
So,
It's good now, but it was like really fuzzy.
okay, so the why is what hurts you, and the what is obviously like what drives you to do, um, what you're doing now and pursuing, a better life per se. So I mean, for me, honestly, my why is basically just not always having it growing up. Mind you, my father was, well-paid guy growing up, but all that changed when we did a huge move. But that's my why, honestly, and you know what I mean. Is to
Do you mean like moving from South Africa back to North America? Or,
West
shouldn't
Africa?
South Africa, West Africa. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
back to
yeah,
North America.
yeah.
Jeez.
So, before my wholesale business, Nate, my parents, that was theirs. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yes, that was theirs. So when we came back, they did that. So I kind of learned, like at a young age, what they were doing, how to do it, and so on and so forth. So I mean, things were tough for me. Like, honestly, I didn't have much money and all that kind of stuff, and I wanted all the glam, like all the money, whatever. So honestly, that was why I even got into business. That was my why. And now it's changed to my family. You know what I mean? My family having it all, per se, is my why. That's my what. So my family wouldn't have to worry about anything. Mind you, we're not hurting, but in my mind, that's why. You know what I mean? I want to have, money from my parents, my nieces, my nephews, as well as my future family. You know what I mean?
100%.
And that is what drives me towards the grind, the process. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't lose focus in what I'm trying to do, per se. And that's really it. I mean, if you can take it away, go ahead and see what drives you and what hurts you.
Oh, yeah, like my actual
Yeah,
driving force, and
yeah,
yeah. So there's two parts to the why, just to remind everyone. So it's what hurts you, and what heightens you, right? So what I mean, if we're really going to break it down, what hurts me is that my mother isn't necessarily doing well. And I mean that more like mentally. Life has been pretty hard to her, so seeing her struggle definitely hurts me a lot. And then that drives me to then the what heightens you, or what will heighten me, essentially, is lifting her out of that. Right? That is a big,
absolutely.
yeah, that's a big driving force for me. For a long time, well, not a long time, but like for a little bit when I was young, it was just my mother and myself, right? Then my younger siblings came, but then still, like it was just the lot of us, and then she met her husband now, right? So there was a long journey until it actually became like a full,
Yep.
your full cookie cutter family. There's a father figure in place. So it was just her and the kids, myself and my siblings, for a long time, right? So there's a lot of building that still needs to be done because our family didn't start off with that mother father role. It was just a mother role.
And honestly, and guys, once you guys find that why and that what, whatever you're going through will be so much easier. And, and that will be the motivating factor in whatever you guys do.
Just as a heads up, I hope this isn't. I hope it's cleared up for the actual, like when the recording finishes. Every now and then, your voice goes kind of fuzzy for me, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just like a connection thing. So maybe it's just.
Is that okay now?
Maybe it's sometimes as you're talking, it'll like go kind of fuzzy and scratchy.
Okay.
And it's even actually doing it right now. So maybe it's a connection thing. So we'll see when we go to upload this video. But anyways, so to go back to the why and the what, so breaking it down a little bit, like what is your nature? What is the universe trying to tell you to do? Who are you meant to be? What is your calling? Right? Do you want to build on any of that at all, or is that pretty
So basically,
pretty clear?
Your nature is honestly not only what you're good at and all that kind of stuff, but it's what really feels natural to you, and what really what's your passion, right? My passion for a long time was music. Nathan knows my passion for music. We've been through some crazy music sessions.
Endeavors, yeah. Straight out of Africa.
Yeah, that was a good CD, man. But yeah, but for a long time, that was my driving factor was music. That was my passion. That was my love. It still is, but at the end of the day, I can do better things with my skills and my mindset now, like business, rather than focus on music. I do have a music family. Not only is my uncle an artist, but my brother-in-law is somebody who's big in the game right now. So
yeah, he is.
So I've come, full circle, I guess. But yeah, and then my passion and my nature went from music to honestly business, and it really was accidental, to be honest with you. As I said before, my mother and father did this before I did, right? And that's where I got my first start in actual business, and then I kind of ran with it and kind of built up from there. So, yeah.
Right on. Right on. Okay, so that brings us to, real quick, let me just find the page here. Doop-a-doop-doo. Page 53. So we've been on this page, Meditations.
Let's go, baby. Let's
by
go.
Marcus Aurelius, right? Now, we've been on this page before, but we only touched on the first half, because on our first episode, it was talking about getting out of bed, your nature, are you designed to feel comfortable, etc., etc. So this builds on your nature, right? But we have to sleep sometime. Agreed. But nature set a limit on that, as it did on eating and drinking. And you're over the limit. You've had more than enough of that, but not of working. There, you're still below your quota. You don't love yourself enough. Or you'd love your nature too, and what it demands of you. People who love what they do wear themselves down doing it. They even forget to wash or eat? Do you have less respect for your own nature than the engraver does for engraving, the dancer does for the dance, the miser for the money, or the social climber for status? When they're really possessed by what they do, they'd rather stop eating and sleeping than give up practicing their arts. Is helping others less valuable to you? Not worth your effort? It's an interesting one.
That really is.
It is.
That makes you really think, bro. You know.
It does, yeah.
Wow.
It's like, are you... So, and to kind of elaborate on it a bit, because it could get a little confusing for some, I'm sure. So, because he's saying, do you have less respect for your own nature than the engraver does for engraving? So in saying that, that is the engraver's nature, right? He is meant to put a mark on things, to engrave, right? The dancer's nature is to dance. And speaking about one's self in a way, right? Like, are you working towards discovering your own nature? Or are you disregarding it and disregarding yourself and not being respectful to who and what you are and who and what you were intended to be? Right? So that's
And I think that's kind of what I was trying to say with the music, and going from music to actually being a businessman.
definitely.
I think that was what my calling was being a businessman, right?
Because there's nothing wrong with keeping the music as a hobby, but it may not have been your nature. It may not have been your calling.
Yeah, of course. Like when I'm in the studio, bro. Like even now, when I'm in the studio, there's a feeling that I get like no other. You know what I mean? Like that, the rush, the environment is just so crazy to me, and I love it. But once I'm out of that environment, I'm back to being the businessman. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So
Yeah. So it's a very purpose-driven thing.
yeah.
And yeah, it's very humble, I suppose. Very, in order like to be able to look at it and say, hey, I like music and everything, but it may not be my nature.
Yeah, that love for music for me will never die, ever. So, and it doesn't matter how many times I've gone to the studio, how long it's been since I've gone to the studio. Once I'm in that studio, I'm home. I'm home. That's just it. But once again, that was not my nature. That's my love, but that's not my nature.
This is not your nature. I understand that completely. All right. So why do we find, though, that so much of society pulls away from their nature or what the universe is intending them to be? Like, why do we think that we even have to talk about this? Like this, so why do we need, for anyone that isn't overly familiar, this is Stoicism, right? This is ancient Andrew Tate, basically. It's pretty much what this is, right? So if anyone
It's time.
is aware, what's that?
It's time to piss people
It's
off.
time to bug some people.
Yes, it is.
We can do that. We can do that.
Let's do it.
So for anyone that does or doesn't know, like, do you wanna build up on who Andrew Tate is or like what he stands for? Or do you want me to take that over?
That's all you, buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all you.
so yeah, for anyone that again does or doesn't know, Andrew Tate is he's a testosterone-filled man. That's the simplest way to break it down. To elaborate a bit more on it, he is, as I said, he is Stoicism. And what Stoicism is essentially, I mean, I'm probably going to butcher this a little bit, even though I've been reading the book about Stoicism. But with definitions today, things get so out of whack. But anyways, I digress. Stoicism today is basically like the art of respecting oneself, right? And it's especially important in regards to men, right? Men are providers and protectors, so you need to place yourself into an important role within society, right? If we didn't have men, would we see the infrastructure that we see today? Right? And that's not to shit on women or to take away from them. We all have our roles, right? So men have the protect and provide role, and women have the nurturing and caregiving role, right? You don't want to walk into a like a nursery, like a babysitter thing, a nursery, and then see just a bunch of men standing there running the place. Do you?
Oh man.
Right? Think about it.
Not really.
So actually, this comedian, Jim Jeffries, has a hilarious skit on this, and I'll paraphrase, and I'm not going to attempt to do it as humorously as he does, but essentially, he's like, okay, so I go to the gym once in a while. Obviously, this guy like doesn't go a lot, but he's like, I go once in a while, and when I go, I bring my son with me. And the daycare center at that gym, it's all ran by women, right? And women, just naturally, because they're kind of built to do it, and like they're kind of supposed to do it to build the ego of the young men, they'll sexualize the men in a respectful kind of way. So like this older lady will say to Jim Jeffries' baby, like when he's like walking in, or toddler, I suppose at this point, as he's walking in with the child, and the woman will go, "Oh, there's my boyfriend. My boyfriend is here." And then she'll like go to grab him, and then she'll be like, "My boyfriend gives me kisses. My boyfriend gives me kisses." And they'll like kiss his face a whole bunch, right? And we see that as we laugh about that, right?
Yep.
Because it's cute, it's funny, right? It does like, yeah, that boy is going to become a man one day, and yeah, he'll be handing out kisses for sure, right? Now, reverse the roles.
Okay. My guy.
Jim Jeffries' girlfriend walks in, let's say, with their daughter. They don't have one, but let's just say that's the case. Okay? And then there's Jim Jeffries and a bunch of his buddies there, being like, "Oh." And he's Australian, so he's got a bit of an accent. So he's like, "Oh, there's my girlfriend." Taps his buddy on the shoulder. "Hey, did you know that my girlfriend gives me kisses?" And then goes to grab the baby. And then just says to like the parent, "About your day." You know, just like you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, no, I feel you.
I highly doubt my daughter gives you kisses, and you need to watch yourself because you're going to have broken legs real soon, right?
Yep.
It's a dynamic. I think we have these dynamics set in stone for certain reasons.
And
But
that makes really good sense, to be honest with you.
it's a really funny breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. It worked. You know, and for people who don't know the difference, you're sleeping. So yeah.
Yeah, you're either sleeping or there's just something wrong.
yeah, exactly.
If you don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Like, my God. So really, yeah, this book is Stoicism, and it's essentially like Stoicism is really like the rule book for how to build an honorable man. Right? That's really it. And then if we look at the polar opposite to that, the antithesis to Stoicism is this new wave feminism that's going on today. And there's many parts to that, but that's like a whole episode.
That's
later.
for another day. Yeah,
That's
for another day.
That's a whole episode. That's like 5 episodes right there, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of crap, but we'll touch on it briefly. So this new wave feminism, let's look at it for what it is. It is complete man-hating. Right? The new wave feminists of today want to go out and say that they're equal to men, are you going to go and say that during the draft? Right? So it's like we don't want to be equal to each other necessarily. We want to have some form of equality in the sense that we're all human beings. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily want to have the same rights or the same societal functions as a woman has. Like, I'm a provider and a protector. Especially with this prospect of war going on right now, if there's a draft to happen, it's, you and me getting drafted, not our sisters.
But, at the end of the day, let me just, go there real quick. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with a woman being a provider and a protector as well.
No. It has to happen. Anyone that's had a single mother has had a provider and a protector in their mother. It has to happen. These are averages I'm talking about.
That's not what we're
right?
saying. We're just saying, as nature, has it, we are the protectors, we are the providers, and the women are the caretakers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Go ahead.
And that's typically the way you want it. I mean, even look at stereotypes that we have. The dad leaves. Well, why isn't the stereotype that mom decides to go get a carton of milk and never come back? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Why don't we have those stereotypes? Oh, I wonder if it's because it's not necessarily a stereotype.
Yep.
Right? It's a fact that if someone's going to go, hey, I don't feel that I'm meant for a caregiving role and I'm not attached to this situation, family, we'll call it, they'll leave, right? But it's very rare, it happens, but it's rare that you see women that will do that. They'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm out here, sayonara, checking out. It happens, of course, but it's just super rare. Percentage-wise, it's not something that typically makes the list, you know what I mean?
Yep, sure.
So yeah, let's move on to the next chunk of our little book of Stoicism. And this pertains, again, to recognizing yourself, your nature. Who is it that you are, right? Who is it that you're meant to be? So here we go. When jarred unavoidably by circumstances, revert at once to yourself and don't lose the rhythm more than you can help. You'll have a better grasp of the harmony of life if you keep on going back to yourself. Right? So again, that just ties into everything we've been saying. What are you being pulled towards? Who are you meant to be? What is your calling? What is your nature? What hurts you? What heightens you? Right? When something happens in life that throws you completely off course, it jars you unavoidably, because let's keep in mind this is also like an older way of speaking. Revert at once to yourself. Don't falter from your nature and your very being. It's not right.
Don't lose yourself in the process.
Don't lose yourself, right?
Yep.
And then, to continue that just a little bit, in life, we find ourselves in a river. Which of the things around us should we value when none of them can offer a firm foothold? Like an attachment to a sparrow, we glimpse it, and it's gone. What do you take from that?
Wow. Okay.
It's a tough one. Oh, that one's tough.
Basically, don't lose focus. If you are meant to be one thing, let's just say if you're meant to be a painter, don't lose focus of that. Because the second your eye is off the ball, you're going to be distracted. And what I mean by that is, you can be, on your path to a painter, that's fine. But then you're going to see your friends on a path to playing basketball for the NBA. And you're going to be like, well, shit, like, why am I being a painter when I can go, stay in your lane?
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the NBA is paying more. In the long run, you're going to be getting paid the same, but you're going to be doing what you love, and not just for the money, or not just for, the easy route.
And to build on that, if you're not meant to switch your lane and go into the NBA, let's use that as an example, that could be what leads to all the corruption that we see in life.
Absolutely.
How many of these professional athletes end up getting themselves into an extraordinary amount of trouble?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Now, are they getting into trouble because they're not adhering to their nature?
Perhaps it can be the other way around, to be honest.
It could be. It could very well that they're just genuinely shitty people.
Listen. There's this guy named Ja Morant. Okay? Now, Ja Morant, he's an extremely skilled player. Okay? But his old ways caught up with him. And he got into a lot of trouble recently. Was seen in the club waving a gun around.
Oh, jeez, bro, come on.
But at the end of the day, buddy, you're getting paid millions of dollars to throw a fucking ball around. What are you doing? What are you doing? Sure, like, have your gangster friends around and stuff like that. Sure, I'm not saying just get rid of them, but at the end of the day,
I mean, we came from the hood. You want to take those people and pull them out of the hood.
Facts. And honestly,
right?
I've tried that. To be honest, I've tried that with friends, and these friends never wanted to come, my path. They were just stuck in their ways. But going back to Ja Morant, this is a business. You're in the NBA to provide for your family. You're in the fucking spotlight, my guy. You're in the spotlight. What are you doing? What are you doing? You are a role model for kids around the world, but yet you're seen in a club with a tool, bro. Come on, guy. It's not sensible.
It's insanity.
So, yeah,
almost literally. And that's another thing. So my roommate just scored himself a coaching position for the Kitchener Vipers. They're like a city league team.
Nice.
For I think how hockey has single A, double A, triple A.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I'm not a hooper, so I'm not sure if basketball has all. But I guess it would be like a double A league or something like that.
Okay.
Kind of like.
Yep. So that's funny. Like you say that because where I get my haircut from my barber, some guy walked in and he was talking basketball, and basketball is also like my passion, my love. And so I'm like, what, basketball? So I turn and so now we're talking about basketball while getting our hair cut. And he hands me a card and says, hey man, like, you talk like you know a lot about basketball.
You do know a lot about basketball.
Here is my card. If you ever want to be a coach for my league, here's my card. I kid you not.
Damn,
bro,
son.
I kid you not.
Damn.
My pops was there, bro.
That's awesome.
I kid you not. So, this card that I have, I will call him.
Oh yeah, you should.
Once my eyes are, back to 100%.
Your eyes are working and you can see these kids on the court and call them out for...
Exactly.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense until your eyes don't work. Yeah.
Facts. I will call him.
You're another week or two away, roughly, before they're...
About a week or two. So there's this week and then there's next week. So, yes, so 2 weeks.
Not bad.
Not
bad. But so I'm going to add in my kind of analogy to that river statement.
Yep.
And just to bring it back for anyone that kind of forgot
Lost
what
track.
it was that we're talking about. Yeah. Talking about basketball. We find ourselves in a river. Which of the things around us should we value when none of them can offer a firm foothold? So my kind of take on that is that okay? So let's build a scenario, right? You're literally in the river, floating along, okay, and nothing around you because you're just surrounded by water. It's liquid. It's not firm. Nothing solid. Nothing around you can offer you a firm foothold. So what should you revert to? Well, yourself, your being, you, are in that river floating along. If you are firm in your beliefs, if you are firm in who you are as a person, you yourself are the foundation of a strong foothold. If that makes any sense. I feel like it does.
Yep, it does.
Right?
It does.
You need to look inward towards yourself to say, I know where my center is. I know where I stand, figuratively and literally, right? In this scenario where you're just floating along in a river, not really standing. But perception is powerful. So if you can say, listen, I know where I stand, then you can gain that foothold within the chaos, right, of being in that river, and then you can where is that? Oh, there he is. You can navigate through life a little bit better. Let's take a quick say hi to Freddie. Break, where is he, little fucker? Oh, there he is.
There's the co-host.
Yeah,
Freddie.
my boy Fred. Bastard. He's in heat right now, and I haven't got him fixed yet, so he is just
going nuts, huh?
He's irritating right now. He's irritating. Dude, I've learned so much about rabbits and having him. It's been 2 years now, I want to say. It's 2. And they're smart little creatures, man. So turns out they understand us. Okay. Rabbits are just like cats, though. They don't give a shit. They could care less. They fully know what it is that you're saying. Full on understanding. They don't give a damn about what it is that you have to say. Where's Maliki?
Somewhere around here.
Is he? Yeah. Maliki.
Nah, he's sleeping, bro. He's sleeping.
Oh, okay. See, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Right, so to get back to bringing our co-hosts into the show, don't compromise who you are, right? When you find yourself, and this is a good tie-in for anyone that understands physics or chemistry. One of the laws of thermodynamics is that entropy, or chaos, as you will, because entropy is the complication of things, chaos always increases. So that's a good tie-in to that reference of being in a river. Because if you could imagine floating along in a river and you can't grab anything, you're going to feel very chaotic. Well, guess what? That's just the law of the universe. So you might want to be clear on who you are, because that chaos isn't necessarily going to get any better. You need to learn how to navigate it. You need to learn how to survive in that setting, that crazy river of life, floating all over the place, just whipping you around. Like, I hate to tell you, but it's not going to...
Stay focused and stay in your lane and trust the process.
And trust the process, yeah.
The grass isn't always greener on the other side.
The grass is greener, actually, where you water it.
Good point.
Yeah, that's where the grass is greener.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't work on something, it's not going to provide you with fruit.
Yep.
So there's just another thing to tie into it. All right, so man, we've actually got through all of our points today.
For once, because we got talking, but hey, it worked.
Oh, actually, we did miss one.
What did we miss?
That little night owl trait. Okay.
Take it away.
Yeah, I got this. So earlier we were talking about what is your nature, right? And a lot of times, at least I find, people try to cookie cutter this, or they don't take other things into consideration. So there's like a genetic trait that some people have. Anyone out there, like listeners, comment below if this pertains to you as well. Like on the YouTube page when I upload this, comment below. Does anyone here just consider themselves to be a night owl? Right? Even if you've got, you need to be up at 4:30 in the morning, you might not be going to bed until about 11 or midnight, and you're really pushing it.
Yep.
Right? That night owl trait that you're not a morning person. So it turns out there's reasons for this. There's reasons for these traits. I know, right? Going ham on his water bottle right here. He just had to be thirsty right now. But anyways, adds a little bit of flair to our show. But that staying up late, that is a genetic trait, because think about it. We used to have, smaller communities. We didn't always have cities. And people would need to stay up late. Like a certain group of people, the Night's Watch, right, would need to stay up late to keep an eye on everyone. And be like, hey, like, you got to watch out for people coming in, animals, trying to mess with things. There needs to be like a group of people that can guard the community at night. So it turns out that that's what drives people not being morning people. It turns out you're just a part of that crew that is genetically predisposed to stay up late. So we live in shifts, right? There's going to be the morning crew and there's going to be the night crew. So yeah, we all have our genetic dispositions to fall into certain things, right? So it's about learning about who you are, what it is you're intended, learning about even certain genetic markers that you may have that push you into certain things, like staying up late, as we just said. People that have siblings, if you're the oldest, well, you didn't get to choose it necessarily, and we don't get to choose a lot of this stuff, but you're a leader. You've been put into a leadership role. It's your job to lead your siblings. Freddie, my guy, have you had enough to drink yet? My God. Jesus. But yeah, so that is pretty much it. You think that's it for today? We'll call it a slightly shorter and sweeter one.
Yeah. Hey, man, let's do it. Let's call it a day.
Wonderful. How about you throw up your social media?
As always, guys, share. Comment.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch our stuff. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. But you can find me on Instagram at EasyBreezy416. That's EZ Breezy416 on Instagram.
All right, and on Instagram, I am Nathan Jack _ Westerjack, WESTERJACK. That's my artist tag. Westerjack has been a nickname of mine since high school, so I decided to take full ownership of it, and now that is my artist tag, right? You can find me on Twitter at WesterjackBC. I was born in British Columbia. And then, of course, Facebook, Nathan Jack. I have my own YouTube channel, but I haven't been putting things up on it because I was using that to kind of practice for this, but I'll get back to it eventually. But I think it was Learn with Westerjack.
I think that's
yeah.
what it was. Yep. That's what it was.
Yeah. So everyone, hit the like button, please and thanks, on our YouTube channel. Share, please and thanks. Yes, that would be absolutely wonderful. Comment below. Yes. Comment below what your favorite part was. Maybe it was Freddie, just being a menace to society and inserting himself into our podcast as he does. Or maybe comment below something you might want to see us discuss. Yes. Right? Maybe you've got a good topic that we can touch on. comment below if you want us to pull you on the show. Maybe you could be a guest speaker.
Yep.
Right? So engage down in the comment section. Try not to get into fights in that comment section. Yeah, we won't turn it into classic YouTube.
Yeah, no. Let's keep it clean, fun, and informative. Let us know the topics that y'all want to hear when it pertains to self-improvement and business and all that kind of stuff. And trust me,
Entrepreneurship, mental health.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to hear, let us know, but within reason.
Hey, and don't be afraid to have us piss some people off either. We love that around here.
We do. We do.
Alrighty, brother.
Yes, sir.
Let's call it.
I love you, sir.
Love you too, man.
Always a pleasure.
Of course.
Let's go.
Next one's on Wednesday.
Let's get it, baby.
Alrighty, take care, everyone, and remember, trust the process.
Let's go, baby.